Let's get going then. Hello and welcome to episode number 5
It is number
of
5. Yeah.
Conversations with My Father. I'm going to add a little something at this point.
You
No,
want?
absolutely.
Do you want me to add it?
We've done this 5 times now and still doesn't quite get it. Just as always, just a hello is always good.
It is. But
It is always nice.
thank you very much indeed, everyone, for your remarks and observations and replies and suggestions. Wish you a very happy 2023.
Yeah.
This is our first, of course, cast of the 2023 calendar year. So
Sorry it's taken so long to get the episode out. Because I think, this is the 13th today, 13th of Jan. We'll hopefully get this out by the weekend. So I think, you haven't been 100%, have you?
no, I haven't.
We'll come on to that in a sec. But we do want to stay as consistent as we can with this, but sometimes things happen and life gets in the way. So we will get out what we can when we can.
Indeed, we will.
So episode 5, we are 5 in, which is quite something. And quick update on the old following as well. We've hit the 5,000 mark, which is amazing.
It is, isn't it?
And we've had that one reel which has got over 800,000 views on it now.
Yes.
Subscribers going up on YouTube, which is amazing. Views going up, so everything's moving in the right direction. And just a big thank you once again for all your support, as Dad said earlier. Now, as we like to do, I've handpicked 3 comments that have been very kindly written in on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it may be. So I thought I'd read those out. You happy with that?
Go ahead, yes, you bet.
So first one from Irene Reed. Irene Reed is you say that 10 times fast? It's probably quite easy,
could,
actually.
but I don't think I will. Just at the moment.
Irene Reed. Thank you so much for your conversations. With such honesty, it is really humbling, and I must admit to shedding a few tears on more than one occasion. These talks are very special to not only your family, but also to many of us listeners. Cheers, Irene XX. Kiss, kiss. I think
Thank you, Irene. That's it's very kind of you to make those observations. And
yeah.
I was just thinking about this when Freddie gave me the heads up on your post earlier on today, and how it helps me enormously to deal with things by talking about it and being open about it.
Yeah.
Of course, that is not the answer for everybody. Plenty of people who want to remain very private about their own similar experiences, but as far as I'm concerned, talking about it really helps. And coming up to 10 years now since the original diagnosis.
We'll be in February. February
yes,
10th, yeah.
Yes.
10 years.
Is quite something. Back in 2013, I never actually expected to get this far. And if I can help others by sharing experiences, then I'm very glad to do so.
Yeah, spot on. So thank you very much, Irene, for your lovely message. Next one is from Floral Laura UK. This one was an Instagram one. She said, "Hi Fred." So this is just at me.
That's him, by the way.
Just came across your page with your dad, and I think it's so brilliant. Your bond is lovely with the blushing emoji, if you know what that one looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the
I know
face
what an
with red
emoji-
cheeks.
Yes.
That's quite similar to yours, actually. Look forward to seeing more Laura. Kiss, kiss. So that's very sweet of Floral Laura UK.
Yes.
Thank you. Any comments on that one?
Well, nothing really more than what
No.
I've mentioned in response to Irene's
No, true.
post.
Very
It's
true.
really lovely to know that we're making a difference and helping you, the listener, and the observer, or by sharing my experiences and your experiences as well
Yeah.
as
Yeah, spot
son
on.
of the
Spot on.
bereaved.
And third and final is from Penny Park. Now she is a lady who has been writing in a few times and has been a very avid supporter of the podcast. So big thank you, Penny, for everything you've written in so far. This one was post our Christmas episode.
Yes.
She said, "Happy Christmas to you and your family." Now, so before I mention this, I don't know if we briefly touched on it, but in the Christmas special, I had a big kind of cut and bruise on my face because I fainted in the bathroom. Had an absolute shocker, and yeah, you weren't quite in the best way. But none of us, well, neither of us, sorry, were at quite 100% for that episode. So hopefully we'll be a little bit better today. Anyway, she wrote in saying, "Happy Christmas to you and your family. I fainted in my bathroom too, and landed on a tiled floor. Um, 6 broken ribs and a collapsed lung later,
Goodness.
I spent 5 days in hospital. I've made great progress and look forward to an accident-free 2023."
Here, here.
So makes my one look pathetic. So I really hope you are feeling a lot better and back to 100%, Penny. So thank you for your happy Christmas message, and yeah, all the best to you for 2023.
And if it helps, and I'm not trying to do a top trumps here, I went down in the garage trying to take down our coloured fairy lights on the 5th of January, and bashed my head rather like Freddie had, and damaged my hand, which is still taking a while to get right. But I didn't faint. I just failed to lift my leg up
Yes.
over the obstacle sufficiently far, and yeah, it's not great falling over.
Not great. You've got a good track record actually of the past year or so of
falling
going
over.
base over apex, as
Yes.
you say. So yeah, thank you very much for your messages. We kindly welcome anyone writing in whatever you like. It can be constructive criticism, it could be nice messages, whatever. But we welcome those. So, did you have a good Christmas?
I certainly did.
Good.
Or you asking the audience?
Well, you. I'm talking to you.
Yes, it was lovely having all Mum's family here.
Yeah.
4 children, 9 grandchildren.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a great gathering.
Really special.
Plus Grandma, of course, and a couple of much loved extras.
Dad didn't put explosives in Grandma's crackers.
No.
We didn't actually have crackers this year.
No, we didn't.
We had
wastage.
Cost of living, obviously. We had to cut back on our crackers.
Wastage on rubbish, really.
True, very true. And New Year's, I don't think I've actually spoken to you about your New Year's Eve.
We went down to Tig and Caroline's and had a very nice evening with them.
Very nice.
And then came
Did you
back
make it to New Year?
No, we came home for that.
Oh, okay.
But watching Sam Ryder, the Eurovision entry from Britain, performing around midnight, I thought he did a really good job.
Did he?
It was very impressive.
Was this BBC One? They did that.
Yes, I think it was.
I didn't see any of that. So I was down in
fantastic.
In St Ives.
Very nice.
Which was incredible.
St Ives, Cornwall, rather than St Ives, Cambridge.
Indeed. So St Ives, if any of you have not been down there, is beautiful. It's a long way. It is right at the bottom of Cornwall, not far from Land's End. So it takes a little bit of a while to get down there, but it's well worth it. And they do this incredible New Year's. Apparently, it's rated as the 3rd best place in the UK for New Year's Eve.
All right.
Behind London and Edinburgh for Hogmanay.
How lovely.
And it was incredible that everyone was dressed up in whatever. It's just fancy dress. So you name it, it was there. And there was really people went to town with this. There was the 2 standout costumes for me. They were together. Were all like properly big, like handmade costumes. One was a jellyfish, and it looked like they'd created this.
As they say in Wales, Esgod and Wibbly Wobbly.
Wibbly wobbly.
Is a fancy jellyfish in Welsh.
Scotland. And they had a wibbly wobbly over themselves, huge one with fairy lights and incredible thing that they were carrying around with them as they were going through the crowd. And then the other one was a giant a big fish, one of those ones, the deep sea ones, which has the lights dangling down the front of
Yes.
its head.
An anglerfish. I think that
One
is.
of those, yeah. Um, and they were going around. They were getting a lot of attention, and just it was awesome. It was such a beautiful
Excellent.
place for New Year's Eve. Fireworks over the
Harbour.
over the harbour, and you get the reflection off the water, and it was awesome. So very very nice way to bring in 2023. And how was you went to Norfolk recently?
Yes, we did. Which
You went
was
away with
lovely
your
with Bertie.
favourite child?
And yes, that was lovely. I didn't feel great. It's just a matter of managing the withdrawal from steroids,
Yeah,
which is difficult
yeah,
because it
Yeah.
makes everyone is different when it comes to responses to chemical help.
yeah,
And I think the need in the short term for steroids is rather reduced, but coming off them needs to be managed very carefully.
yeah,
Otherwise, you will start feeling shocking,
yeah,
which I did.
yeah. Well,
Anyway,
better
that's
now, much better now.
Yes, exactly.
And you were, I know you weren't golfing, were you? Bert was golfing.
Bertie golfed, yes.
But so my brother, I'm very competitive with my brother. I'm older than him by 3.5 years, and I've always liked to think that in any sport we play against each other, I will beat him. That's just been my elderly brother way. I think a lot of older brothers out there would think the same. But he's getting to a stage now, certainly with golf, where he's getting really quite handy.
Yes.
And he
is.
had my pants down in in Cornwall last summer, and beat me hands down, fair and square, both rounds, which was quite something. So I think he's and I gave him for Christmas. I gave him a one of those smart golf watches. So I've
Yes.
basically made him even better. So I don't know why I did that. I should have just given him a broken club or something. But no, he's going to be beating me quite frequently, I think. But lovely for him to. Did you join him at all?
No,
You didn't get on the course, no.
no, I would love to have done, but it just wasn't. I wasn't up to it.
And also, actually, I'm trying to do dry Jan this year.
Oh, well done.
Not that I really need to, but I just thought
So that is
there's an alcohol-free
zero.
gin and tonic,
Yes.
which is very
Whereas
good.
up here,
Yeah,
I have a alcohol plus,
yeah.
full fat,
Full
Bloody
fat.
Mary.
There you go.
and it's delicious.
Can you reach it?
Yes, I can, but I
Good,
don't want
good,
to
good,
at the
good.
moment.
Same. You're going for quite a rouge colour combo, and
Yeah, well,
style
it's just
today.
nice. It's going to get very cold
yeah,
next week, and I'm just giving.
prepping now.
Yeah,
Just getting the body ready
Absolutely.
for what's to come later.
quite right.
So that actually kind of comes on to what the bulk of what we're going to discuss today is how Dad differs to me quite a lot. I'd like to think we're quite similar, but I certainly think dress sense wise we're quite different. You're very traditional,
Yes.
and I have things that I will get in.
Yeah, I mean,
that
we
are more
could shock
traditional.
the viewers by my turning up in shorts and t-shirt
I've
and trainers.
I've taken on board the comments that we had about my shorts, and since then I've opted for jeans. So
Yes, which I'm sure everyone
there was
appreciates.
one person who commented who was really not impressed with. They very much thought I was just sitting here in pants.
Yes.
And it was the episode that where you really did open up, and it was telling everyone about the saddest moment of your life.
Yes.
And I was then I thought he or she, I can't remember who it was, thought that I was sitting here consoling you in my pants,
Yes.
which wasn't good. But I thought what we do today is I'm going to try and educate Dad on more modern things. Coming into the new year, I always like to go in with I don't know, a level of, you've always said, always important to constantly keep learning and educating yourself and so on. So I'm going to educate you on certain things, and I'm going to be reading out, we've got 10 things each. Dad's going to be reading out or hopefully giving me some more maybe traditional things or things that resonate with you, and see if I understand them or know what they are. And then I'm going to be firing back to Dad with some modern things, whether they're people, they're phrases, they're things, whatever. and we're going to see if we. I think we
be
should keep a
very
tally of
confusing.
this. It's going to be. We've got 10 each, so we'll see what the scores are. I think the way we'll do it is if you know what it is, that's obviously a point.
Yes.
But if you're kind of there, I'll give you a half point.
Thank you very much.
Should we do that? Happy with that?
Yeah.
I'll do a tally
You
here
keep
as well.
score.
I'll keep score. So we'll do Fred and Chris. So, would you like to start?
I can do. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you'll understand what's going on here. It's a bit of a fun game to kick off 2023.
Right.
All right. Go for it. Fire away. Give me your best shot.
Abyssinia.
So, Abyssinia, you use this as I'll be seeing you.
Yes.
So
Abyssinia.
it's a place in no, not Australia.
No.
Where is Abyssinia? But I feel like it's a place as well.
Yes, it is. It's a country. It's in East Africa.
Okay, Abyssinia. And then so you use that when we're going away or you're saying goodbye, and
Yes.
you'll say Abyssinia.
Yes.
And then but there's a response there, isn't there? Isn't there something you normally
Oh, it was Ceylon. So long.
Salom?
Moscow.
Moi aussi, that's it.
Well,
That's
moi
why I'm
aussi
thinking
is-
I'm an Australian. That's why I'm
Yes.
trying to think of those other ones that you've done. Hopefully
Well,
that's not the
you
next
get a
one.
point for that.
Good. One. Well, not 1-0, but one to me. Cool. Okay, Abyssinia. Maybe I don't know if these people will have heard of that. Is that just a dadism? Or is that just you?
I do a dadism and one or two mates.
One or two mates. Right. So this is a person, a very current person. I would say one of the most talked about people in the world right now. Andrew Tate.
Oh yes, he was on telly last night. How he's a thoroughly offensive bloke in prison in Romania,
Yeah.
and coming out with some really nasty stuff.
What have you heard? Because it's very hot.
Do I
in
get a
the
point for
world.
that?
Yeah, that you know who he is, but just through the news, you know who
Oh well,
he is.
racism and sexism and
Okay.
yes, I watch the news, which is possibly an old-fashioned thing
Yeah.
to do.
Okay. Okay.
But
But you have heard of him.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
So I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and it's very interesting seeing what he's about. Do you want to you giving yourself a point there?
no, you're
I'll
keeping
give
score.
you one. I'll give you a point there actually. But he definitely, if you watch the news, that's your view. But whether you see lots of stuff on YouTube, it's quite interesting that he is portrayed in the news as very sexist, misogynistic, racist, or I don't know if he chooses racist, but in my eyes, from what I've seen as well. So I've tried to kind of educate myself both sides.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's as bad as he's made out to be. That's my opinion, having watched certain other things. He says he calls himself a realist
Right.
rather than being misogynistic or sexist. So,
But
there
if
you go.
these views remain unchallenged, the younger generation who seem to be picking up on it
yeah,
enormously
yeah,
are going to receive it rather too meekly,
yeah,
and perhaps begin to share those views and express them themselves. And I find it utterly amazing and incredible that sexism, racism has been around for hundreds of years, and still there is insufficient effort being made by the likes of you and me to address this problem and start making a difference.
yeah,
And it's not good enough to say, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist,
and that you think that's enough. Yeah,
and thinking that, yes,
Yeah.
exactly, that's enough,
Yeah.
and it's nowhere near enough. You've got to challenge people and
yeah.
be
Ultimately,
prepared to go to an uncomfortable place
yeah,
rather than laughing meekly and remaining comfortable,
yeah.
even with your mates.
I think there's just what he's talking about online is that he feels he is expressing the thoughts of a lot of men out there
Yes.
that don't have the confidence to say it out loud online in the public eye, ultimately.
What, being
So
offensive?
it's very interesting. I'll show you some other stuff actually, and I don't want to make this episode about him, but but definitely if you get your education about him just from the news, I
Yes.
think it's very skewed.
No, I confess
put
that's
that
I
way.
mean, it was probably last night,
Yeah,
and that's the first time I heard
yeah,
of
because
it.
I think he's been set up, and the whole thing of his scandal in Romania is has just been has been done on purpose. I don't think he's actually done
Well, I
committed
don't
the
know.
offences. But
That's-
there you go. We'll move on to that. So that is a point to you, 1-1. There you go.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Fire over.
He wouldn't know the difference between shit and shoe polish.
So where would I use that phrase?
Yeah.
In what situation? So when someone doesn't know the difference between shit and shoe polish, I'm assuming they're useless. You know, they don't know what they're doing. They're kind
Yes,
of a
I think
bit
that's-
all over the place.
Yes.
Kind of
And-
he's
and there
not
are-
with it.
I mean, this is actually.
I don't often hear you
say that.
You say that.
No, I mean, they were sayings that came from the army because my father was in the army in the Second War.
Yeah.
And so he picked up on these little sayings and my mum would always find them offensive. And,
Yeah.
oh, Derek, don't say that.
Yeah.
But Dad, he always chuckled,
Mm.
and he'd look at me with a twinkle in his eye, and I never forgot these sayings. So just a couple more that along the same lines.
I'm not going to do back and forth.
Yeah, we can, but these are just.
Oh, is this an extra?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
He didn't know whether he was having a shit or combing his hair.
I have heard that. You've used that before.
And he didn't know whether his arsehole had been punched, bored, drilled, or countersunk. So
That's that. I've heard the second one. You've used that. The shit or combing his hair.
yes.
The other one I haven't heard you use.
No. Okay. Well, those are old army sayings that.
But Dad taught you.
Well,
and
he
you're
didn't say,
passing on to
"Christopher,
me."
never forget this.
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah,
didn't. He just used those expressions, and
Okay.
it was funny.
Chris, never forget this. Okay, so are you going to give me the point for that?
Yes.
Cool. So we're there 2-1. Have you heard of TikTok?
I have.
What is it?
It is a platform where people can put up visual images and things and discuss things, and it's really a platform for video clips.
Yeah, spot on. Video clip. It's very much. It's a kind of Gen Z. I'd say it's not millennial. I'm a millennial. I don't really use it that much. So maybe a little bit millennial, but very much Gen Z. So the younger generation, the people in their teens right now. There was
That is
a big
an American
thing.
saying Gen Z, I guess.
Gen
is
Z.
that
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
the letter Z
Yeah.
is Z in English.
There you go. That's what it is. Gen Z. Yeah.
Gen Z.
And it really kicked off in lockdown when people started doing dances and to music and all
Yes.
trends and so on.
I remember
So
that.
have you
occasionally.
ever seen a TikTok?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Have you ever been in one?
No, not to my knowledge.
But you may have.
I may
someone
have slipped into one.
Yeah.
Undeliberately, unintentionally.
Yeah. Okay. Well done.
So that's probably a surprise to you.
That has actually. I didn't think you'd know what that was.
Next one.
Go for
from
it.
me to you.
Far away. Yeah.
I remain, sir, your most humble and obedient servant. Where would you find that expression?
I remain, sir, your most humble
And obedient servant.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to guess this. I'm gonna say someone who is like an apprentice or is learning a new trade or a new skill, and it's something they will say to their elders or the people above them. I don't know. Is that
I'm
something?
not
I
sure
don't know.
whether I give you a half for that, but it's the old-fashioned way of saying yours sincerely at the end of a letter.
Is it?
Mm.
Oh, I'm way off.
So it was really,
Really? That's what they used to say?
yes, and it was incredibly formal. But if you look at letters that were written 100 years ago,
Yeah.
very often you would see that written at the end.
Okay.
It was extremely formal.
When did that kind of fade away?
I'm not sure. I couldn't
Because
say.
I've never seen that in a letter before.
Well, when I come across it, I'll show you.
Are you going to start doing that with when you send? Dad likes to send letters, don't you? You're a very
Yes, I do.
yeah.
I think it's an art form.
But you're more, I would say, you do, depending on who you write to, but often it's yours sincerely,
Yes.
or it's actually less form, best wishes. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, I was taught at school use of English,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was very helpful when it came to addressing a letter, writing a letter,
Yeah.
making it look right. And very few people now use the traditional way of addressing an envelope, which is to have it on a slant rather than all margin left in a straight line. But someone who, and Grandma's very good at this, she's one of the very few people
Really?
who angles the address correctly in a traditional way.
So, sorry. So let's say that is our piece of paper here.
Yes.
Don't want you to look at that side of it.
No, that's
But
fine.
can you actually? Well, I don't know if let me just go over here. Let's just do this. Let's use that so you don't see. So, if I'm writing down here,
Yes.
you're saying the address.
This is the envelope.
Oh, the envelope. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it that way. This is the envelope. You're saying that we write
Each line indents.
and then you go across from left to right
Exactly.
like that.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys can see that.
And it
so
looks
that's
very
that
smart.
is the. Oh, and would you start in the centre and end up further right? Or
Yeah.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah. You'd need to give it a bit
Interesting.
of thought and planning, but
I didn't know that. Did not
Well,
know
that's
that. There
great.
you go. And that's. But you don't do that.
no, I'm guilty of failing to uphold that tradition.
Yeah. So that's okay. Well, I won't give myself a point for that because
Okay.
I think I was way off. Way off. Okay.
Run another one past me.
Reel.
A reel
What's a reel?
is a short visual video, I'll call it, which very often appears on TikTok. Why are you smiling like that? Because I'm
No,
getting-
because you're getting these. Well, kind of. It's not really TikTok. I don't think. Well, I don't know that, but
Well,
it's not
no.
on that format.
and I see a lot of these
Not in that format.
reels of people hurling themselves off a mountain or on a bike,
Yeah.
a mountain bike, doing the most dangerous things.
This is just what your search bar comes up with.
Well, it does actually sometimes. I watch more reels and
Yeah.
I get over excited about that, and then
So
Mum comes in and says, "What are you looking at? You're
Yeah.
wasting time again."
so you're getting caught up in the matrix that is social media.
Apparently so.
In that, so it's Instagram is the platform that uses reels.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think you can get a TikTok reel. So it's an Instagram reel. So it's Instagram's way of trying to compete with TikTok.
Okay.
So a reel is generally a shorter form video, which you can once it's finished, it will just then move on to the next one.
Yes.
And you can sit there. You don't even need to be touching your phone. You could be asleep, and it will just be going through
Through
reel
loads of
after reel
reels.
after reel.
Yes.
So that's why you'll get sucked in.
I am very much sucked
to
some of
and then
these
it
reels.
will. The way Instagram works is it will try and find relevant videos to what you've just watched.
Yes.
So it will be
some
if
logarithm.
you've liked or clicked on there's someone jumping off a cliff on a mountain bike.
Yes.
It will then try and think about.
I try not to click.
Okay, so but you've fallen into that trap many a time. I have.
Yes.
I've heard you. So hopefully a lot of you have seen the reels that we've been producing. I'll say we. It's all me, isn't it?
It is all you. Sometimes
I'd
you're
actually quite like to see you try and create a reel
over cheeky with your.
with some of the cassette boy things that we've done.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to give you full. You're 3 from 3 at the moment.
Excellent.
I'm 2 from 3, so I need to get this.
Next one.
Yeah,
I have had ample sufficiency, thank you.
I know this one. So this is one I think your dad taught you. So when, because Dad used to say this, you'd have to at the end of a meal, and you'd say, I've had enough, therefore I've had sufficient. So ample sufficiency would be the phrase you'd use, and I actually still think I use that from time to time.
Yes,
because of you.
That's great. I mean, it must have given Dad such pleasure when his pretentious little son, if he was asked if he would like some more at the end of a lunch at Friends or whatever, I said, no, thank you. I've had ample sufficiency.
It's so
pretentious.
So pretentious. Brilliant. And that was, you do still say it.
Yes,
I'd say from time to time.
I can do.
So that's one for me.
Yes.
All right, back to 3 all. Good. I need these. I think you'll get this, but we'll see. Fev.
Oh dear me. Oh, petrol hybrid electric vehicle.
Yeah, spot on. Spot on. Damn it. I didn't want to say any more than that. Thought you might have thought it was something else.
No,
but spot on.
Having looked at a Fev.
Yeah.
And some of the cost of these cars are eye-wateringly large.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I just think now's not the time to get involved with those just yet.
Because of the price, yeah. They are.
Well, and it's taking a long time to get the infrastructure in place. And
yeah. If we lived in the city, maybe. But
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a topic for
Good
another
health,
day.
Everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so that is spot on. Spot on. I thought you nearly went off on something else there.
I was about to.
Were you about to say? Did you think I said Fez?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
No, I was a bit worried about that to start with when you first said it.
Okay. I hope you guys are enjoying this and you're getting them too and playing along at home. So I'm chewing on ice.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Fat.
In what context? Or just, what does it mean? If you hit something a bit fat, or you are fat, or chewing the fat.
Yes, that's all good.
Fat, F-A-T.
Yes.
Yeah, the standard spelling of fat.
Yes.
What would you? what would you? All of what I said, I'm assuming, is correct.
Yes, but what would you understand?
So I'll use it when I play golf. You hit something a bit fat.
Yes.
You're taking too much turf with your shot.
Yes.
Chewing the fat is mulling something over, talking about it. We are right now chewing the fat.
Yes.
I mean, someone can be a bit fat as well, weight-wise, overweight, but I very rarely use that because.
Please look away. I'm in that category.
Correct? Is this all correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But for your generation,
right,
I've heard fat used as a huge compliment.
Really?
Yes.
What as in our generation use it?
Well, yeah, I think so.
It's a sentence. What would a sentence be?
Well, I suppose describing something and then summarising. Well, that was really fat.
I've never heard that before.
Have you not?
Never. Have you used it?
No.
No. Where have you got it from then?
I think it came from Billy Birmingham and his Richie Benaud.
Oh, the 12th Man.
Yes.
I've never heard of that.
Okay.
So it's a good thing.
Yes.
Something's a bit fat. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe it's an Australian thing.
Could be.
Given where you've got it from.
Yes.
Okay. What happens there with the point?
You get a full point.
Do I get a full point? Fantastic. Yeah. Even though it wasn't really. Quite right. 4 all, but you're 1 ahead because I started.
Like a penalty shootout.
Goat.
Greatest of all time.
Damn it. I really didn't think you'd get that.
Used to describe Jimmy Anderson.
Jimmy Anderson? Do you think? Would you call him a goat?
Well, a lot of people do.
I mean, he's up there.
Biggest wicket taker for England
Can we name some
Tesco.
goats of the sporting world? See if we agree. Football,
Lionel Messi.
I would agree. Currently,
Rugby.
rugby.
Oh dear.
I'd
struggle
I'd
now.
go. Well, in my eyes, it's got to be someone in New Zealand. So I'd either say Richie McCaw or Dan Carter. For me.
Yeah, Richie McCaw was remarkable
Yeah.
yes, and I would agree with
So-
you. Those two were
Just
prolific.
caps and points are
yes,
ridiculous.
absolutely.
Let's go. So snooker.
Golf.
Let's go snooker. It's got to be.
Steve Davis, I'd go
No,
for.
come on, the goat of snooker. The Rocket.
Oh, Rocket Ronnie.
There you go. He's got to be. He's got to be the goat of snooker, definitely.
Okay.
And what are the other ones? Golf. Well, Tiger Woods has to be.
Yes. Well,
Has
he
to be.
doesn't have to be. Maybe Jack Nicklaus and
Yeah, but no, I would say Tiger Woods. Let's go. Driving, and F1.
Senna was remarkable, but so has been Hamilton,
Yeah.
and before him
What someone like
Schumacher.
Yeah, it's got to be. Would you ever look at as far as Fangio, as well?
Yes, but not having ever seen him.
Yeah, such a different car he was in.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, super.
Goat.
I'm very
Back
very
at
impressed that
5-2.
you've heard that actually. Very
Um,
impressed.
Okay, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, but this is another one from Billy Birmingham. Some people say his poo is pure white and has no smell whatsoever.
So it's a compliment. It would be someone.
it is.
So he's an absolute like angel or
Deity
a
of some
deity, a
yes.
god. Yeah, he's so perfect. but-
Yes, and he was. That comment was made about Shane Warne, which I wouldn't disagree with.
Yeah, he's probably got a bit. There's a bit of
He's
a goat as
certainly
well.
a goat.
That's a good way of following on from that. Okay.
Yes, so point to you.
Say that. Can you say that again?
Some people, I'll do it with the Australian accent. Some people say his poo is pure white and has no smell whatsoever.
I like that, and that's just from the 12th Man.
Yes.
Okay. Don't know if any of you've seen the 12th Man, or no, not seen it. Listened to it. There aren't any. There's no visual, is there? But there's this man called Billy Birmingham who does he do the majority of them or all of
Yes,
them?
he does.
Yeah. It's all just a series about cricket and the Australian team, really, isn't it?
Yes.
That is something that we used to listen to a lot of when we were in the car. That with Dead Ringers. Remember that as well?
I do.
Cool. So I got that right. 5-all.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Do you want me to? I'd quite. Do you want to get that? I don't want to see them. There you go.
Thank you.
Good magazine, that. Very good.
Right.
Sorted. Okay, so
Yes.
that's halfway now, and that's
Oh, is it?
yeah, I think so. You started. You've given me an extra one, so it's pretty much it's 5-all anyway. What is a high, low, or medium fade?
It's a golf shot.
No, not. It's a yes, but not in that context. When would you? I don't think you've ever had one, but Mum. I can't say that because that's going to give it away to you. But there's another use for it. If someone
High.
goes and gets a high fade,
Oh, haircut.
yeah, spot on.
Turkish haircut.
It's not necessarily Turkish.
Well, the one in the high street in Wadhurst
Oh,
is
it's
Turkish.
Turkish barbers.
Yes.
They're very good actually, Turkish barbers. They generally
Very
do a
good
very
job.
good job, yeah. Have you ever had a fade?
No, I still prefer to go to the traditional barbers, James
Yeah.
and Co.
Yeah. And you just, what do you ask for when you go in? Because
Well, this
Dad
time-
has recently just had a
I have.
trim, which
just-
I really like, but Mum
Mum
wasn't.
doesn't think it very much of it. But it depends. If I go and see Kevin, he knows exactly what
Shout
I
out
want
to
and doesn't
Kevin.
even have to ask. Whereas James stands there and he's the proprietor
Mm.
and said, right, what are we going to do today?
All right. Is he
Um,
expecting you to choose something different each time?
Well, he's giving me the opportunity.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about regrowth at all, rather than taking it off,
No,
putting it back on? No.
no, there was an appalling moment in Dulwich many years ago where I went for a haircut, and unbeknown to me until I saw it in the mirror, he'd given me a wedge cut at the back.
What's
Um,
a wedge cut?
well, it was a V shape that he'd cut in the back
What,
of my...
into the back of your head?
Yes, it was just appalling.
So, like that, as in going down,
Yes,
shaved a V.
not completely shaved.
How did he start? Because you must have asked for something for him to do that.
I can't remember how it...
Because they will often ask if you want it natural or a line. That's what often I get asked, but I always say natural.
Right.
So that's when you follow the natural line of your,
Yeah, well,
of
very
your hair.
sensible, if I may
Yeah,
say so.
exactly.
But
Rather than some people go bang, chop a line
But
underneath
this would
it.
have been in the mid-90s,
Right.
I guess, and
Okay.
it wasn't a good moment.
A V, blimey. So it's like the opposite of a, well, I was going to say mullet, but then that's just a longer,
Yes, a mullet
longer
is
back.
completely
Yeah,
different.
that's
I've never had a
completely
mullet.
different. Yeah. Okay,
So
that's a point. You've got everything right so far. You got 6 from 6,
This is
which
a
I'm
surprise to
very.
me.
But I don't think. No, well, you'll definitely get some of these next ones wrong. I'm going to put that out there.
Okay,
Hope.
we'll see how we go. My turn to ask.
Yeah.
Sick.
If something's sick,
Yeah.
it's, why have you chose? That's not. You're meant to be educating me on traditional things.
Yes, this is
But
a
that's not-
traditional word.
It's not. If something's sick in this context, this day and age, either you are sick, you're ill, or it's really good. If something's really sick,
So
that's
talk me through that.
so.
I've only ever used it
Yeah.
to describe illness.
Okay. Well, that's what I said.
I'm
first of
going
all.
to be sick.
I'm going to be sick.
Is
Yeah. It is weird how it's flipped around like this, because now if something I don't use this, but I think I used to actually. But if something's sick, you'd be like, oh, that's sick. That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's great.
But when I say I'm going to be sick,
I'm going to be sick.
I'm not telling people that I'm going to be cool and
No, but I
everything's
think that's
fantastic.
pretty standard English language, isn't it? I'm going
No,
to be
it's
sick.
bollocks.
Is it? No, but as in I'm going to be sick. That's you're just going back on
Yeah, just
on
to see if you can remember what the
what
word
it
originally
means. Of
meant.
course I know. It's like saying if you're ill, I'm going to be sick.
Yes.
Yes, right. Well, I'm gonna give myself a point for that.
Righto.
Have you? But you've never used it in the other way.
No.
No. It would be weird, those words coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
Very strange.
Right. Fire one back at me.
Netflix and chill.
Well, Netflix is the
What's that?
films on telly
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
on, which is great.
Yeah, you know what that is.
Chill.
But the phrase. So if you
Oh, it's a phrase. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Netflix and
let's
chill.
sit down and watch a Netflix movie. Why is that funny?
Ultimately, yes, but it's got a little bit more of a connotation to it.
Well, not sex or anything. is it?
It could happen. That could happen. Netflix and chill. If you ever messaged mum saying, "Darling, do you fancy Netflix and chill tonight?" It would be quite interesting to see her response. But you can use it in the context you like.
Well, I have no idea what I'd be asking her, apart from watching a film.
and relaxing in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to give you the point for that.
Not even a half.
Okay, I'll give you a half. But you've never heard that phrase before.
No.
No. Okay. So you are six
Half
and
a
a
point
half to
ahead.
my 6. Yeah.
How do you do?
Good day. How do you do? It is a. How are you?
Accompanied by.
How do you do? I'm very well, thanks.
Yeah, that's
Good to see you.
good enough.
Yeah. That's not a phrase used that often.
No, it isn't.
So I
which
like
is why
that.
I've
You've gone from sick to
How do you do?
how do you do? Yeah.
Which is, it's a funny traditional way.
You do use that actually, occasionally.
I do a lot. Yes,
Yeah.
still.
How do you do? But do you have anyone who asks you that at all?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
It's quite a formal
Absolutely.
way of
And for many years,
greeting
I
someone.
just didn't know what it meant really.
Really.
Oh, how do you do?
Yeah. How do
And
you do?
they would say, very well, thank you. And I thought,
Yeah.
well, I haven't asked you that.
Yeah.
But of course, you have. That's what
How
the
do you
meaning
do?
is of that phrase.
And that's again quite a traditional phrase that's slowly probably weaning out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
I don't use that. It's not something, but I
I
could
mean, it's
see.
very much associated with shaking hands with people.
How do you do? Yeah.
If you meet them for the first time.
Yeah. Okay. But no,
Point for that.
point for that. Okay. So, well, I don't know where we're at right now.
I've only got one left.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got 3. I think well, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be my 8th one.
Okay.
Sending it. If you send it, what does that mean?
Oh, well, if you kick a ball a long way, if you hit a golf ball a long way, I would say you've really sent that.
yeah. So you can also use it in the context of if you were going on a big night out, you're going to go and send it. That's often what the Gen Z will say.
Yes.
So have you ever sent it on a night out?
No.
No.
Not for many years. Certainly not when that phrase was coined.
Brought in.
No.
Yeah. But you can send it in golf and so on. He's really sent that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's really hit that off the meat of the
Yeah.
bat.
Yeah. I quite like the sending, and I'm pretty sure it's become a like a fashion thing. I'm pretty sure there's a company called Send It or something along those lines where they've done a clothing line. There's this guy who there's what's it called, Jerry of the Day. There's this Instagram account.
Oh yes, skiing.
Yeah, and it's often, and it will be very old school. Just be like this dude who's like, I'm just gonna send it, and they'll just absolutely go for it on a jump or something, and then just stack it afterwards.
Yes, which is very satisfactory.
Very satisfactory. So yeah, you haven't sent. I don't think I've ever seen you send it.
No,
That's
too
all.
frightened.
Too frightened for the send. Yeah, but I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You're half a point ahead of me.
Yes. I've got one more here.
Okay, but you need to have another one because I've got 2 more.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Think about one. Yeah.
Wicked.
Wicked.
Yes.
Well, again, it's quite a tricky one. It's like sick, this one. So if something's wicked, I've got the two ways of looking at this. So something can be wicked. Oh, that's wicked. Really cool. I like that a lot. That's wicked. Or wicked is in harsh, and it's not very. It's like a wicked witch, like a horrible thing.
Yes.
That's
evil.
Yeah, evil.
So
exactly.
I don't know why I'm answering your question for you. But
Yeah, if that's wicked. So it's context, I think, in that you could say, or you could say the wicked witch is wicked.
Yes,
you could go there.
do.
There you go.
Well, I'll give you a point for that.
Yeah. Do you think I'd get that? Were there any of these you wrote and you thought Fred's not going to get this? The majority of mine I wrote, I didn't think you'd get them.
Well, we haven't
And
finished yet.
You've surprised me.
Yeah, we haven't finished.
I'm very
yet.
impressed. Okay. Right, I don't think you'll get this. So this is bold from me. If you're caught in 4K.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah.
4K would be 4 kilometres.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. I'm thinking hard about this.
I just
Caught in 4K.
caught in 4K, and I'll in 4 is the number 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I haven't heard of this one before.
I have to say, I'm going to admit, I didn't know this till about
10 minutes ago.
No, about 2-3 months ago when I first saw this. So it's Are you admitting to not know it, or can you
Yes.
guess? Have a guess.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah.
Caught seems to suggest something has happened which you wouldn't necessarily want to have been discovered or seen doing. So,
Yeah.
caught with your trousers down or something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a half point for that. So it's you're not far off. So it's a bit like being caught red-handed,
Yes.
but it's often used in the TikTok world. So if you're caught in 4K, someone's filmed you doing something stupid, or you've been caught out by something. So
Right.
as you say, you'd be caught with your trousers down or something. So caught red-handed, like in digital form, and it's often followed by the camera emoji. So if you say, you've caught someone in 4K, 4K being the quality of image.
Okay.
So it's like the resolution, I think is what you call it.
Right. Thank you.
So if you were to do something stupid and I filmed it, I've caught you in 4K.
Yes.
Okay, on a TikTok. That's apparently what that meant, and I came across that about 2-3 months ago.
I mean, it's rather
So,
like
yeah.
Candid Camera, I suppose.
Yeah.
It was an old TV program from the 60s and 70s,
Okay.
which was extremely funny.
Yeah.
Extremely funny.
Elaborate at all, or just leave
Well,
it at
they would line people up for a fall, really.
that? Okay.
There was one classic example where a man with a couple of his mates
Yeah.
pushed a car into a garage
Yeah.
and went in to the chap behind the counter and says, "My car was broken down."
Yeah.
So he comes out and looks at it, and the funny thing is that the two chaps who were pushing the car have vanished,
Yeah.
but there's a camera over the other side of the road, and this car doesn't have an engine at all.
Right.
So they've taken the engine out,
Yeah.
and the bloke at the garage opens the bonnet and looks in, and he stands there with his hands on his hips. How far have you driven this car to get to this point? Because there's no engine in it.
Yeah.
I said, well, I've done about 70 miles to get here. I've really come to get some petrol, but I broke down. I just freewheeled into here.
So that was called what, that program?
Candid Camera.
Candid Camera.
Yes.
It's a bit like You've Been Framed, that sort
Yes,
of thing.
absolutely.
Okay. Back in the 70s.
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
All
Like
very
it.
funny.
Okay,
Now,
so that's
I've run out.
You've run out. So this is where you need to think of one,
Yes,
because I think you may have used an extra one,
I may well have done.
but you're getting half a point for that.
Oh, that's
So you're
very
8 out of 9 at the moment.
Yes, and you are.
I'm 8 out of 9 as well.
But I owe you a question.
You owe me a question, yeah.
Oh,
So it's
Lord.
quite an important one. I can
Yes.
fire one back at you if you want to have an extra moment or two to think.
Yeah, but
But often thinking in silence on a video podcast or an audio podcast is not great for viewers or listeners. So I feel we need to fill that with either me asking you
another
or
question.
you think quickly.
Yes, well, you ask me
Oh,
another
no.
question then.
I feel you thinking quickly right now might be a little bit much for
Ambitious.
you. Ghosting.
Oh, if you are if someone's writing a book and they haven't got very much time to do it, they can get a ghostwriter in to do the work.
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. If that's
well, it's
a thing.
ghost writing.
Okay. Can you think of it? I've never
well,
heard of that before.
Okay, but
Have
an alternative.
Yeah, and also what I'm
is,
thinking about.
Dissing somebody, you ghost them as if they're not there. You respond.
Okay, I'll give you that. Pretty much. So, if it often happens in the dating world, and that's often where you'd hear someone saying, "Oh, they've ghosted me."
Yes.
So, let's say it would be weird for me to ghost you because I'm going to see you again.
Yes.
But it would be a bit like, let's say we're on a date, Okay, Dad. We've just gone. We've just met at the bar. We've had a great time.
Yeah.
And we have a bit of back and forth, chatting away. We've got each other's numbers, and then you message me saying, "Oh, I don't know, are you free next Friday?" And then I
Don't respond.
don't respond, and that's it.
Yeah,
Done.
it's very rude.
Very rude. Yeah. So ghosting is effectively what a lot of the younger generation, it's not good, it's a very bad thing to do, but a lot of the younger generation will do as an easy way out of rather than saying to someone, I'm sorry, I don't see this going any further, or just effectively doing the right thing.
Yes.
A lot of people will bow out of that and will just decide not to respond. So that's
Yes.
when you are ghosting someone, or if someone doesn't respond to you, you've been ghosted.
Yes.
So
Bloody rude.
yeah,
Right, I've got
it
one
is.
last one.
Okay,
here.
so I'll give you that. So
But you've asked me a question more, so that really doesn't count.
no, it doesn't. No, because this will be the 10th one back at me.
All right. Toast.
If something's toast,
Yeah. Or somebody is toast.
they're gone. They're dead. They're deceased, or they're injured. Oh, they're toast. They're completely. You could describe. I don't know. It would be a bit weird to describe someone who's died as being their toast.
Yeah, that's where I've used it.
That's not a very nice way of calling it,
No.
but in a comical sense, he was toast, or
Yes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Is
Going for the burn up is another one.
no, you can't. You can't. You've said things like you've said pushing the daisies up. That's something
Yes.
that's a
Pushing up
phrase
the
as well.
daisies.
Pushing up the daisies.
Um,
6 feet under.
Dead centre.
Dead center. These are not very nice phrases,
No, but they help
but they do help
lift the spirits.
Very true. Very
with
true.
bad news. But you're right. Toast. Someone is toast.
Yeah.
They've had it.
Would you ever use it as a phrase other than dying or death?
Well, yes. I mean, I eat it for breakfast.
Yeah, you do like your toast, actually.
Yes.
Big fan of toast.
Um,
But if I was to describe you when you fell over in the
garage.
oh, he was toast. Would that be?
Well, no. Fortunately, I've lived
You
to
live to tell
tell the tale and share.
You'd
the
never
experience.
use it as a way of being like he was just injured, or he was way out of it.
No, I mean, I would say that I went down like a sack of shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah,
But I survived it.
yeah. So you wouldn't. Yeah, okay.
And
Toast.
the dead centre, of course, is a graveyard
Yeah,
in a church.
yeah.
Church.
Dad used to do this whenever we drive through a town of wherever we may be, and we'd go through or drive past the graveyards. Yeah. Dad would always say, "Oh, that's the dead centre of
Wherever we
New
were.
Malden or whatever." And I used to always think, how does Dad know that that's like the middle of the town? I used to just think that's amazing knowledge, but always it happened so frequently whenever we were on a journey that I then began to realise as I grew up, I was like, surely this is not right. And I think it did take me a while to then realise that it was
Yes.
related to the graveyard with all the toasted occupants. So
that's it. We're
that is
level, aren't we?
that's 9-all. I feel like we need a
Tiebreaker.
So I got one completely wrong, and then I've given you a couple of halves.
Yes. Well, that's very good of you.
That is quite nice of me, actually.
Shall we leave it at that and have a tiebreaker another time?
Yeah, I feel we could, or we get you guys to write in with some phrases, either old school
Good
phrases
idea.
or new phrases you've come across you don't think Dad would get, or me even. I'm not that with it with the current trends and so on. But I'm actually very impressed with you getting 9. I would have put you down as getting 5 out of 10 here.
Well, I can surprise you.
You can. I did. I
Which is
certainly.
very gratifying.
Yeah, the Netflix and chill was good. I enjoyed that one. You going to use that a bit more often?
We'll see.
It was. Well, I think we have actually had a few people write in with certain things they'd like us to discuss in upcoming episodes. Um,
Are we aiming at 10 and therefore we're
well,
halfway?
we could do. We'll discuss that
Okay.
outside
We'll
of that,
discuss
but
that, ladies
we'll
and
discuss
gentlemen.
that. But no, I would I want to keep them going for as long as we can for the next few weeks.
Yes.
For sure. Maybe try and backload a few. But no, we've had some brilliant topics come in from listeners. There was one which was about what was the some of the life one. I can't even remember now.
What?
Well, there were the quotes like favorite movie
Lines
and so on. And then what was something about living?
Lessons for a happy life.
Yeah, exactly. But
which I'm very happy to address if we've got time.
Well, if you want to keep it, you do a 5-minute address to that. We could do, or we could save it for another episode. I feel like you're very, because remember you were known at school as waffling. You're very good at waffling.
Yeah, I did waffle, and
Yeah.
you need to pick me up if I go off theme
Yeah.
and so on.
Tangent.
But
Well, what I'll do is I'll give you 5 minutes now to tell
the story about
living your
living a happy life.
living your happy life. It's like that game, just a minute, but you've got just 5 minutes.
Yeah, which is quite
No
a challenge.
repetition, no pausing.
pauses or deviation.
Or deviation.
Anyway, I would say that, and I'm sure I may have mentioned this in earlier discussions, that doing a few things which you would not necessarily find easy to do, but you overcome the challenge, and at the end of it, when it's all over, you think, I'm really pleased I've done that. I feel so relieved. I was worried about it beforehand, and I'm really chuffed that I've achieved that. And that is a real boost to self-confidence. And I think, difficult though this may be to appreciate, going to boarding school was not necessarily a comfortable experience. And there were times when I felt pretty low. But at the end of my time at boarding school, I was very, very pleased to have done it and got through 5 years, and having to deal with awkward situations, uncomfortable situations, actually helped my own self-confidence. And you may have felt the same in your educative years. But I really feel that helped, and being uncomfortable and overcoming that feeling of discomfort was, I think, really, really helpful, and has given me a sense of self-confidence over the years, which I think is so important, to feel, in your own skin you can handle situations.
Yeah.
You've got little jokes or sayings which you can sprinkle around, which can give you a bit of armoured protection, if I could put it that way, in having your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
You don't have to respond in a similarly hurtful way, but I think very much that handling it and feeling thoroughly confident in yourself, without causing other people any discomfort, because I think firing back in kind is not necessarily the answer.
Yeah. So kind of taking the rough with the smooth in a way, and kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and I think it's important to experience those things. They may not be comfortable, but I think it really helps if you overcome those fears, and you can respond in a way that doesn't worsen the situation, and which keeps you happy, content with how you're living your life.
Mm.
And the key to happy life, it's a huge question. And depends on so many variables, and I'm only using my experience to talk about it now, but I think if you've got self-confidence, you can deal with lots of situations quietly. You don't even have to vocalize them, but keep your own counsel is often a good idea, rather than making things worse by losing your temper.
Yeah.
But I think keeping a good temper, feeling in charge of the situation, these are all very important aspects of living a happy life.
Yeah.
So that's probably my 5 minutes up now.
Spot on. I agree. I think there's what you've said. What you did tell me when I was younger, going through those phases of not being maybe 100% happy with certain bits about my school life or the way I was handling things or going through things emotionally.
Yes.
That I remember you always saying, you had times where it was pretty rough, and it's what made you into who you are today. So it's not all plain sailing. So I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. But it is obviously a lot easier said than done. So
it is.
And experience is everything in this day and age. But no, I like it. I think these sorts of questions that are coming in are amazing, and I think there are some that are coming in that there's clearly been a lot of time and thought that's gone into them, and I think as a way of saying thank you, I feel like we need to put a lot of time and thought into answering them as well.
Yes,
so we will
put some time aside next.
Yeah,
time.
we will definitely. And hopefully that whoever the lucky person is who we kind of pick it as a bit of a topic, because there have been some incredible ones that would be a great title for an episode, or certainly a topic. We could certainly select one and hopefully answer your question. Those that are writing in, but I think we should probably call it a day there.
Yes,
we've got dinner.
And shout out to the correspondent in Western Australia, who come from Yorkshire originally, and one of his very kind messages a couple of weeks ago.
Is that Neil Wakeford?
It could well be.
Neil Wakeford.
Yeah, I think that's right. So he emigrated to Western Australia, I think he said.
Yeah.
And was interested in sort of accents that would accompany that sort of move. But Yorkshire, the great county of Yorkshire, God's own county in many people's eyes, has then had to move and transfer across to Western Australia, which is a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Enormous. I think it's probably, one with Queensland, one of the largest.
You trying to combo Northern and Western Australia?
No.
No.
No, I won't attempt that, but hopefully we can do some more regional accents.
Yeah,
in
we did have
episodes.
I say we weren't on our best performing form, let's say, at the last episode.
No, but
neither of us were 100%, and I think
very nice to do, and
yeah,
being surrounded by Christmas decorations was lovely.
Nice. It was very nice. I suppose we should call that a day.
We'll call it a day,
as always, what should people do, Dad?
Click on the heart to say they love it.
Okay.
And subscribe.
Yeah. If the heart is often for Instagram, so if it's
Yes.
released on YouTube, what's the equivalent of a heart?
Oh, is it an arrow?
No.
You could have asked me this.
That one.
Oh, thumbs up.
Give thumbs up, yeah.
Yes.
Like it. That's it. Likes a comment as well is always a
Yes,
nice
we
one.
comment.
We like comments. You said subscribe.
Yes.
And then the other one, if you're watching on YouTube, is to put your notifications on, to turn the bell on.
Oh, yes.
There you go. You can tell them that.
Put your bell on.
Put your bell on. so that you don't miss any uploads, whether it be a full episode upload or a little short that we might put out as well. Do you know what a short is?
Yes, it's a little summary.
A small little snippet
Yes.
of a video, yeah. So thank you once again from myself and Dad for tuning into episode 5.
This is.
So that is over and out, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 6 very, very
Yes,
soon.
we'll do that.
That's it.
Excellent. Cheerio, everybody.
Bye-bye. That one.
Sorry.
got confused. Well done.